A business is an organization that helps customers make progress in exchange for money. The topics covered in Level 1 are the building blocks of a business. Let's review those building blocks all together. A customer is a person who spends resources to make progress. For McDonald's, anyone who wants to feel entertained while filling their stomachs on a boring commute to work is a potential customer. McDonald's sells directly to consumers, so individual people act as both the end user and paying customer. A job to be done, or JTBD, is a particular type of progress a customer struggles to make in a distinct context. People who drink McDonald's milkshakes in the morning identify with the statement, "I want to feel entertained while filling my stomach on my boring commute to work." A product is anything sold to customers to remove their barriers to progress. McDonald's product is a thick milkshake with tiny chunks of fruit sold from freestanding machines in the morning. That product removes its customers' barriers to progress. Competition is anything customers do to address their JTBDs in the real world. So morning milkshakes compete with bananas, donuts, granola bars, smoothies, and bagels, in addition to other fast food milkshakes. Positioning refers to the way customers distinguish products from real competition. McDonald's should position their milkshakes on quality. They're more entertaining, longer lasting, more filling, and easier to handle in the car than bananas, donuts, granola bars, smoothies, and bagels. A market is the total value of all resources customers spend on a particular JTBD. For McDonald's, that includes all of the resources spent on entertainment while filling stomachs on boring commutes to work. And the market includes a chunk of banana, donut, granola bar, smoothie, and bagel sales. Segmentation is the process of dividing a market by customer attributes. McDonald's could segment the market by the mode of transportation customers take to work, how long their commutes are, whether they care about health, and whether they care about ethical sourcing. Targeting is the discipline of focusing on a particular segment that includes customers with the most attractive attributes. McDonald's should target customers with attributes that show they're likely to have high lead scores. People in segments who want to feel entertained during long, boring drives to work, who need to fill their stomachs, who don't care about health, and who don't care about ethical sourcing of ingredients will have high lead scores. Diffusion shows how products spread through a market. This market is not cohesive. These customers don't attend the same conferences, they don't listen to the same podcasts or share breakfasting tips online. The morning milkshake market is siloed to individual customers. So McDonald's should advertise on billboards by the freeway, or on popular morning radio shows, or their milkshakes could sponsor cleanup efforts along the road. Better yet, McDonald's could micro-target likely customers with online ads based on their Google Maps searches for where to buy donuts, smoothies, and bagels. Pricing is a mutually beneficial exchange of economic assets. At the simplest level, customers give McDonald's money once for a product. But McDonald's set up prepaid swipe cards. That means customers pay money up front for products they'll consume in the future. That makes it faster to get the product during the commute, and McDonald's gets an upfront commitment of money. That's a simple but effective pricing strategy. In this example, we have evidence about customer JTBDs, the product features that serve those JTBDs, and pricing. But the rest of the building blocks we just mentioned are hypotheses. If we ran our own interviews on this, we could make strategic decisions about diffusion, positioning, etc., in the same way that Christensen recommended feature changes for the milkshake itself. Let's imagine a business called X Startup. We could rate X Startup for how structurally sound its building blocks are. And then we could give it an overall success score. Here's the catch. These building blocks don't add or subtract from each other. They're so interconnected that they multiply by one another. In this example, X Startup performs well on every building block, so its success score is huge. But if one floor falls, everything else falls too. So if they get a 0 for JTBDs, everything else gets multiplied by 0, and the whole business fails. Or if they get a 0 for positioning and competition, the success score drops to 0, and the whole business fails. Or if X Startup targets the wrong customers, the overall success score drops to 0, and the whole business fails. X Startup could also underperform on some of the building blocks. Then the whole business sags and suffers. It's easy to see why so many startups and new businesses fail when they just guess about these things. But we'll use evidence to architect the business to match what's likely to work for real customers. So every building block slots right into what they want. Of course, it won't be perfect, but it'll be structurally sound, so we can measure, learn, build, and repeat. Let's revisit how we do that in Customer Illuminated now that we share a common vocabulary. Level 1 introduced the framework we'll use to understand customers, evaluate business opportunities, and design a sound go-to-market strategy. Level 2 covers best practices for interviewing customers. Level 3 shows how to schedule 30 to 100 interviews with the right people. Level 4 shows how to interview customers from across the market to collect evidence about segmentation, targeting, and JTBDs. Level 5 shows how to analyze those interviews to segment and target effectively. Level 6 shows how to interview targeted customers to collect detailed evidence about their JTBDs and your real competition. Level 7 shows how to analyze those interviews to address JTBDs and position effectively against your real competition. Level 8 shows how to interview targeted customers to collect evidence about product requirements, diffusion strategies, and pricing. Level 9 shows how to analyze those interviews to spec out a best-selling product. And Level 10 shows how to design a tactical, flexible plan for bringing that product to market, complete with sound strategies for positioning, diffusion, and pricing. So next up, we'll talk about how to run effective interviews in the Level 2 videos.